All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're starting out with a laugh. We actually have a countdown in our studio, and 10 seconds is extremely long.
Yeah, it's an eternity.
Especially in these days.
Especially
in these slow times.
In these slow times, 10 seconds feels like a lifetime.
You never know how long 10 seconds is until you get a 10-second voice note. You have to listen to the whole voice note for 10 seconds.
So interesting. I just got a voice note sent to me, and, you know, interesting enough, my business partner sends me voice notes all the time. And I literally told him last night, I never listen to them. Never.
How long has that been going on for?
He's like, oh, are you cool with this? And I'm like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be cool with. You just left me a 2-minute voice note. I get it. If you're a foreigner, you're a kung fluer, you want, you like to leave voice notes.
So I think voice notes are effective for people internationally who are multilingual. And a lot of people speak like Spanglish, half English, half Spanish, and they go in and out, and they're just more comfortable just doing one voice note. But if you're in the USA,
if you're in the contiguous 48 states and you're in the United States of America, voice notes should be banned.
Yeah, and especially you're assuming that the other person's gonna spend 4 minutes listening to your voice note. And they're like, "Hey, what's up? Just want to check in on something and let you know what I'm thinking about." Like, I'm like, "Dude, shut up, get to the point."
That to me,
you have to listen to it because you have to know.
I think a voice note is very condescending.
Yeah, it's rude. Pretentious.
It's disgusting. You're looking down at me. You think I have the time to listen to your stupid voice say some stupid things?
So I will say, you know, while I do agree with both of you, I hate voice notes and I don't like listening to them. WhatsApp was primarily built with an international audience.
Yeah.
So maybe the international audience is just ahead of us. Like now Americans all use WhatsApp. 2 years ago, no one used WhatsApp.
Okay, but
everyone's like, why would I use WhatsApp? I would just use iMessage.
Because here's
WhatsApp's
the problem.
a much better product.
The way that like the world we live in, when we're sending a message, we're probably also doing something else, right? We're all doing many things at once. When you have to listen to a voice, it's just You have
to stop what you're doing. If you don't have your AirPods, you have to listen out. Hold your phone up to your ear
head.
so you can't be on your phone at the same time.
Yeah.
It's not like it just goes on the speakerphone. It goes literally into the...
And then also on the voice notes and iMessage, you can't change, like you have to wait for the whole time. You can't pick your spot on it.
Yeah.
So if you miss something, you go down, you start from the beginning.
Yeah. It's just so inefficient. The reality is that people in these countries don't really value their time because they're not doing shit anyway. Like countries that are big on voice notes are probably third world countries.
This is your Trump moment.
It is.
The shitty countries. What was his line?
Shithole country.
Shithole countries.
Yes, shithole countries likes voice notes.
Voice notes.
Yes. I want someone to correct me.
That's a hot take.
That is a hot take.
Hot.
Well, I mean, that was all my voice note. So let's get into some news. The first news that we wanted to talk about is we want to start things with a positive note. I know we started with bashing voice notes, but this is actually something positive. I got an email from a Kathy, whose name is V. She is a part of a foundation called the Be Rare Foundation, and they're awarding funding to women entrepreneurs with a female forward mission. They're going to be rewarding 3 women $5,000 each. Applications are open now through May 15th of 2020. So 1 month to apply for it. It's called the Be Rare Foundation. We'll put the website in the notes, and let's put the website on social media so that people can take care of it. If you're interested, go look up the Be Rare Foundation. And that's great. I mean, I think people don't realize like a $5,000 check is all you need to launch a business. I mean, we've launched many, many businesses with even less money.
Way less money.
Like,
yeah, the key is that 5,000 goes into something that's sellable.
Yeah.
Then you should be making money right away.
Exactly. It's like if you're spending $5,000 on an office lease, then yeah, you're a moron. You shouldn't get the money.
Yeah, you have to invest it in something that turns into revenue immediately.
Yeah. No kombucha.
No
Doesn't
kombucha.
turn into revenue.
No IPAs.
Yeah. We actually started feet. Parker won a grant, I think, at UMass, like a similar competition like this for $1,000. He got a heat press for $200 and bought socks for the other $500. Started selling, and that's how we started cash flowing feet, and that's what jump started feet.
That's $1,000.
Yeah.
And look how successful we are. Just
It's
losing
the first
money
time
in
you
the
said I was
stock market.
successful.
Yeah.
You're successfully losing more money in the stock market than me.
Yeah, but I have enough money where I could successfully lose it in the stock market. So that's an
Just day after
accomplishment.
day, just getting pummeled.
Yeah, it's an accomplishment though.
I know.
I have money to lose.
But check it
A
out.
lot.
The Be Rare Foundation, and to all our women listeners, I would apply. I'm telling you, $5,000 is all you need. I know you guys hear the headlines of millions of dollars. You need $5,000.
Yeah, tangible money. It's
Yeah.
any free money that you could have. It's
Yes.
great.
So go check it out. The other thing I thought that was really interesting is the lockdown is now officially May 15th in the UK, New York City, which we thought would be sooner because they felt like
Why is New York so late to the game? They're literally mini Italy. And why did they announce May 15th yesterday,
And
as opposed to LA announced it a week ago?
a week ago.
Everyone's praising Cuomo and this leadership, but that's a lack of leadership. You have the worst pocket in the country, the most debts. 56% of debts in the United States come from one state, and primarily one small area of the state.
Okay, so it's a shithole. The place they're
Probably
idiots.
sending voice notes left and right.
It's all they're hanging out in Little Italy and Chinatown in New York.
Yeah, I mean, literally, they have Little Italy and Chinatown. Not two countries you want to be associated with anymore. But yeah, I mean, look, I think to California's credit, which I don't really give California politicians credit ever, because I feel like there's a lot of things wrong with this state and our city. But in Corona-related kind of measures, I actually think Gavin Newsom's done a pretty good job.
Yeah.
And Garcetti, different perspectives, in our group chat, a personal group chat, some people don't like Eric Garcetti. But for the most part, if you look at the illnesses in the state of California and in LA, it is very minimal. Our hospitals are not overwhelmed. We're getting through testing now. We're seeing some good progress. I feel confident that a liberal state like California will reopen quicker than some of these other states that just kind of allowed the fuckery to continue too long.
Yeah.
But all those people are going to want to come to California.
No, I think we got to shut our borders down.
Yeah, this
Border
is
shut.
Build a wall.
So
Yeah, we got to build a wall.
Build a wall.
We're recording this 1:50 p.m. Pacific time right now. Trump is going to do a press conference in an hour. And yesterday he hinted at how states are going to reopen before April 30th.
Yep.
We don't know which states he's referring to, but by the time this pod airs, there's going to be a roadmap. And here's the scary part. You're going to have states reopen. The virus is going to spread like wildfire, and there's going to be interstate travel. And how are we going to stop this?
No,
yeah,
and-
you're going to have assholes going to Florida, then coming back to LA and
Yeah.
bringing it here.
Like next time you leave the state, stay the fuck out. That's
Build the wall.
No, we're going to have to.
Yeah.
We can't allow interstate travel right now. We just can't.
You can't allow interstate travel without a unified national policy. So
Yeah.
if you want to act, if we're going to follow the Constitution, which is federalist, and the states get to decide, then the states can decide who comes in and who doesn't.
I know, but how the hell are you going to block out all? Like, look how big California's border is.
No, I know, but there just has to be some. It's going to be catastrophic.
So let's just jump to it. We have this as a topic. So the question is, what is it going to take to end the shutdown? So here, NPR kind of laid out 5 strategies. One is improve rapid testing. It sounds like a place like California is rolling out quicker, cheaper ways to get tested. And I don't know the stat of this in other states, but Abbott is now gearing up to do 50,000 tests a day in that rapid test. And in a place like California, that's so big and so kind of just sparse in terms of where people are, I think we can if we make it mandatory or we urge people to get tested, I think we can get through the testing period, probably take a month, 2 months to get everyone tested.
Yeah, I guess the problem is it's 2-step. You have to test and then you actually have to contact trace.
Yeah.
So the
so-
testing is one part of it, but
They said that massively upgrade contact tracing capacity. So that's the next step.
But that's not even possible in the United States. That's gonna get tied up in courts and civil liberties lawyers talking about what privacy is. So I don't even know how logistically. First of all,
Okay, so what if you did it like this? What if you made everyone in the country download a COVID app?
Yep.
Okay,
That's what Korea does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and everyone's results are tied through that, and that's it. There's just one app, and then we just have to keep the data anonymous outside that app.
Eric Deluxe won't take a vaccine.
Yeah. Eric Deluxe might be deported to another state. He can't live in my state.
Yeah, how are you going to force people to download an app or even get them to?
We can't even get people to vote. We get like a third of the population to vote.
But if you said you can't go to the club, unless
if you said you can't go to
airports, clubs,
in and out, you can't get any of this. Like that's the only way I think it can work is if we have somewhat of a resembling of a reopening and restaurants are open. And if you don't have your app that says,
okay,
boom,
so
they should have made you download the app to get your stimulus check. That's how you get it.
Yes.
That's the only way it could have worked.
That would have been good. And the next is create systems to isolate the sick and protect the vulnerable. This is like obvious. I think this is the most important thing because here's my opinion is I agree. One, we're not going to be able to close down state borders. Two, I don't know if anything is going to get approved for true contact tracing from a legal standpoint. The only thing I think we actually can do is just tell people that are high risk, stay the fuck home.
Yeah, and I think...
But how do you force them to stay?
No, you're not.
It's just like if you're high risk, like your likelihood of dying is probably pretty high.
And so that's your choice. If you choose to go out into the universe and you get sick, everyone in the world has warned you, your time has come then.
So, and I think the only optimistic view that I'm kind of reading is sure vaccine, 12 months. I think it's going to be sooner because we've never had the entire world singularly working on a problem and trillions of dollars. Yeah. Everyone's focused. I do read that people are confident that there's going to be therapies and treatment in the next few months.
So the fourth step is build up hospital capacity. So in a state like California, that seems to be working. Obviously, if we reopen, if the hospitals will get slammed overnight, but it has to be a gradual reopen. And I think the essential workforce list just will slowly grow. Yeah. I think that's going to be a part of it. Like today, it's hospital workers, it's police, warehouses, whatever. And if it goes to another layer of that, then we'll slowly get people out. And then the last is effective treatments. I think that's going to be the most realistic thing because people, I just don't see how you're going to avoid getting this.
Yeah.
So the only thing you can do is if you get it, they have a treatment that prevents you from dying.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you can, the symptoms you may still have, but at least if you can, it minimizes your impact, then maybe we're in a much different conversation. So it's interesting, but that's what everyone's going to be talking about. How do you
build a wall around California or just LA?
If it could just be like West Hollywood,
I'll give just around Dee's house.
I'll give you where I'd like the wall built.
Yeah, give us the wall.
I want from 405.
So no one from Santa Monica.
I don't want those West Siders here. I won't go to the beach. You don't come on my side. Okay? 405 to Highland.
And then Highland. So Asteria Mozza is your cutoff.
Yeah. You can get I like Mozza. So they get to stay.
That was great.
And then south border is the 10.
Okay.
Like
so
Washington, Venice area.
Yeah,
Del Taco. No. It's basically Del Taco on La Cienega.
Del Taco La Cienega is as south as my wall goes. And then I want to go right below Mulholland. I don't want those people either.
101?
Pache, above Pache.
Right above Pache on Laurel Canyon. That's where it stops, and that's my wall. And I don't want anyone else to come into my area.
This is the most bubble shit ever.
I think you're nice by going all the way to the 405 west. You can cut it at Century City.
He likes Century City Mall.
I like Century City Mall.
Why go to Sepulveda?
And I like Dee Reese.
Dee Reese. Cut it at Westwood.
It's a cookie thing. So
and multiple hospitals in that wall.
Yeah,
that's true.
You got UCLA, US.
For those that don't,
that's tactical.
For those that don't live in LA, this is the only part of LA that matters. Everything else can kick rocks. Let's move on. So one of the challenges of what's going on with Corona is that there are a growing faction of people that are starting to protest. And part of that is on Facebook. There are people posting that there's going to be this big protest in May. There's people that are saying we need to get our rights back. The disease is ruining our country. So obviously a lot of these people are MAGA friends.
Yep.
They are very pissed off. And Daily Mail did an article. Protesters in MAGA hats and flying Confederate flags swarm Michigan, North Carolina, Ohio, Utah, Wyoming, New York, and Virginia to demonstrate unconstitutional lockdowns that are worse than the virus. And if you look at these pictures, they look very angry.
Well, the best thing we could do is let them protest and let them wipe themselves out. Why don't we just let them do it in a contained area?
MAGA is done with the shutdown. I think it's pretty clear. Trump's done with it.
Yeah.
He's encouraging
We're past
states.
Easter.
Yeah, he's encouraging states to reopen. He's going to announce a handful of states. They're all going to be MAGA states.
Yeah.
And they're going to die.
I mean,
Natural selection.
and I think like it's funny because I do overhear conversations on television or like podcasts or just reading on social media what people are talking. I think the fact that we actually have done a good job of containing the virus in general outside of New York City, that people are taking now everything for granted. And I think that's going to be the challenge with the reopen, is that health officials and politicians know that this shit is working. Like, we actually are effectively containing Corona in America.
Yep.
Outside of New York City. The problem is that the pain of that, the economic pain, is now becoming so scary. We don't know how to handle it. And people just can't imagine. I mean, like, they're shoving money down people's throat. Why can't we just sit tight? I honestly think we are going to have some resemblance of a reopen in May, because the virus is going to be contained to people that have it at that point, right? Because we have a month to do testing. Like, should we all get tested?
I think you should get tested if you have symptoms. I don't think it's smart if you're fully healthy to go to a testing center, because then you may contract
No,
it there.
but from what I'm reading, they're pretty sterilized, and the way they're testing,
It's still, you're putting yourself at risk if you don't have the symptoms, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I think the shutdown's working, and relatively in LA at least, we don't hear. I thought we heard a lot of people we knew had it early March.
Yeah.
And that was like pre-social distancing.
And
like,
we
it
knew
wasn't
that.
uncommon to hear some of our friends that had it.
Yeah.
And now it's like you don't really hear about it. So this is clearly working. So don't put yourself in a position where you get it.
Yeah, the
but if
problem
you have symptoms, I agree.
Yeah, and the bigger problem is that in a month, when there's far few cases, which is the concern. Like, we reopen the economy. Is it like if we open on a Wednesday, is by Saturday 2 million people infected?
Yeah.
If it's
If we
a
don't have
full reopen, like the Grove's open theaters, yeah, I think this thing's already here. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
So you reopen, it's going to spread, and you have to reopen in phases where it's like super, like actually social distance, restaurants, tables apart. I think that's the only way.
And in what way does it ever fully go away? If you have a vaccine, that's
Vaccine.
it. That's the only way. So,
Or a treatment where if you get diagnosed with it, they can give you a pill or an injection, and it says, okay, you're good.
Yeah, because if they can give you a pill that you don't have that short, like the horror stories are bad, right?
Yeah.
The shortness of breath, the unrelenting fever for 2 weeks. Like, if they can eliminate those symptoms or just make them much more milder and more like a cold, if they can make the symptoms of Corona to a bad cold,
A bad flu. We would take a bad flu.
sure, a bad flu that only lasts 4 or 5 days, then I think.
I'm back on a plane.
But if it's the horror stories of the 14 days you can't get out of bed, like, that's gonna scare the shit out of people. It scares me.
So we don't reopen unless we get a vaccine or a cure to it. There's no way. How could we?
A full reopen, absolutely. I mean, we talked about it in the last episode. The concerts are thinking fall 21 because that's realistic. Because by then,
Zuckerberg, do you see what he just said a couple hours ago?
he said all Facebook events canceled.
Over 50 till
over 50 people till June.
June 2021.
Yeah.
Because he knows,
Which is a year from now.
he
Over a
knows
year.
that the vaccine is probably a spring 21 thing, and that's when that will get distributed, and we go from there.
Are we doing Coachella in October?
No way.
No way.
It's October 21.
Yeah.
It's not. There's no way.
0% chance?
Zero.
Yeah,
Bank
I agree.
it.
Wow.
I agree.
I mean, if we can't let people in like the Hollywood Palladium till fall of 21. How the hell are you gonna have 100,000 people in one confined area?
The schools to me is my biggest concern because we can't. And I've heard this twice in the last 2 days of young children, like not young meaning like 17, 18 years old, committing suicide because of depression.
Right.
It's depressing to be alone in an apartment all day.
Yeah,
or a house.
And I think that is going to be such a challenge come fall, because technically kids are in spring break. They're probably happy not go back to school. Summer, you'll just tool around your house like you normally did. I mean, whatever you do in summer, obviously no camps or anything like that. But when September kicks in and you're still doing that,
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a serious problem. Like,
But not with just kids, with everyone.
Everyone,
It's tough
yeah.
for everyone. Even like people that thought they hated their jobs, like just the social interaction of your job and being at work and having someone to talk to was awesome.
yeah, I agree. I think it's a real challenge that I don't know how we address those issues.
Well, we're not going to.
Yeah.
So they're just going to exist, and
Yeah.
we'll see the fallout, because
Yeah.
we did the shutdown, which solved one problem,
Yeah.
but may have created 10 others. That's
Yeah.
That's the other issue.
That's fair. Okay. Well, we'll have to keep our fingers crossed on how we kind of handle this. But if
Quick
you're
little-
lucky, like this Indiana man,
Pete wants to say something.
Oh, a little breaking news. Wisconsin just extended theirs to May 26th.
Wow.
They're ahead of LA.
Wisconsin was early, remember? I
Yeah.
told
Watch out.
you guys.
yeah.
Breaking news for you, Pete. No one cares about Wisconsin.
Yeah. I was going to say that. It sounds like a voice note.
Sending a lot of voice notes.
That is irrelevant.
But if you're lucky, like this guy in Indiana, he checked his bank account for his $1,700 stimulus check because he has a child. He found $8 million.
Now that is what I've been waiting for.
And this is extremely concerning. So eventually it got reversed in a matter of 48 hours and the IRS realized it. I think this guy also, an idiot, told everybody that he got the money. And so then probably IRS looked into it.
Yeah.
If you mistakenly get $8 million in your bank account, shut the fuck up.
And run.
But even, all right, so take the other side. What the fuck is the IRS doing?
No, but here's the thing. We know it. Big
It's a joke.
companies,
Yeah, they have
big
no idea.
companies have no idea.
Yeah. There's going to be so much fraud with all this money going out.
It's my biggest concern of the $4 quadrillion that they're giving out. The amount of fraud that is being committed right now is going to be astronomical. And I don't know how long. The stories we will hear 3-4 years in. Okay, I think there's going to be all kinds of lawsuits on labor issues that lawyers are going to be opportunistic on, and they're going to sue all the companies. And I think all of us are going to get sued like crazy, because I think lawyers are just going to be like, you did this, you did that. You like Carnival Cruises is one of our things. Carnival Cruise management knew there was a corona risk on one of their cruises and they let it continue.
Well, and I think, so we could just dive into that topic.
Yeah.
They did a full expose on how Carnival, it got to the senior levels pretty early on in like Feb, and they just chose to ignore it because they were just hoping it's going to go away. So the problem is where does it become negligence versus no one really knew that this was going to be this bad? And we can make the same argument for our politicians not shutting down earlier. And who was negligent there? Is that criminal? At the corporate level, you can get sued financially. You can't sue your politicians. You can only vote them out.
Yeah.
But I mean, the cruise story is so good because the particular cruise that was supposed to dock in Oakland, there was all this controversy. Trump said, don't let him in. I don't need my cases to go up. That was the cruise that this article documents. Yeah. And the anecdotes were they announced the quarantine on the cruise, saying you have to go to your cabin. And there's an old couple at a ukulele concert on the cruise, and they got like, whoa, what's going on? We got to go in a room. They sprinted to the buffet, and they said it was just packed with people just grabbing.
So how many people got corona just on that?
Yeah, that's what they all got.
And then they quote some 69-year-old guy going into a packed elevator to his cabin and laughs. Oh, this isn't really social distancing.
Yeah, exactly. And so if Carnival. So how does Carnival deal with this? Okay, there are going to be lawsuits.
Yeah, so is the government going to... So the government's going to bail them out financially.
Yeah.
Cruises are in MAGA states as long as Trump's in office.
Yeah.
They're fine.
Yeah.
Are they going to give them criminal immunity?
I mean, everyone got criminal immunity for 2008.
Sure, but what about financial immunity? You can't sue the cruises.
Government will
The
back 'em.
government just
Yeah.
gives the cruise customers a blank check.
I'm very nervous for the legal ramifications of the last month for America specifically, more so than other countries, because I think there are people that should be held accountable, but I'm also nervous that it'll get out of control and it'll unnecessarily hurt other businesses. And that's where I get really concerned that a small business may get really wrapped up in some bullshit because some big companies took advantage of things. And I think that's really where I get scared. And then on top of that, the IRS is just dropping $8 million in random people's accounts.
So one thing that's really shocking. So if you think about the amount of money that's been pumped into the U.S. economy, the $2 trillion stimulus is only part of it. There's so much going on in buying of bonds. It's in the multi trillions, right? 3 cents of every stimulus dollar post COVID-19 has gone to individuals.
3 cents.
3 cents on every dollar. So 97 cents is going to prop up the stock market is effectively how you think about that.
It's working.
Yeah. Something's working.
Stock market's way up.
I guess so. Pete, if you got an $8 million deposit in your account, would you tell anyone? Would you tell Dee? How would you bring it up?
He would definitely tell me.
You think?
No.
Bro.
I would tell nobody.
I don't think you'd have the
I
balls
would
to tell
continue
no one.
working. I would act like nothing happened.
At what point would you really feel the money's yours?
A week.
A week? Would you make a new account or transfer it somewhere else or just leave it in there?
That's if you really want the hustle, is
You
to
gotta
get it out of your
wire
bank
it.
account
Yeah.
immediately.
And then they'll never find it.
yeah.
Well, now that I know what I'm going to do.
And
That's
fly
what I would do.
internationally, get on a plane, and you never
Get
see
the
us
fuck
again.
out of here.
That's your
Anybody
only-
seen Pete lately? Has he showed up
Renounce
to the
your-
office?
No, then you hire Dee. You put a job on.
Yeah.
You hire Dee.
I go, look, this is
Role
what I'm going to
reversal.
do.
I'm become your boy
I've come
D.
across some money.
Your boy D.
Your boy D.
Boy, D
Grab the camera. Get recording.
the idiot.
D the idiot.
I think he would die before he got put in that position.
You pay me enough, I'll do anything. So we'll see. If you get the money, please shut up and just take it. So now news is coming out that coronavirus may not have been just a random coincidence of a gentleman eating a bat. It is now being proved by Fox News. So it's
100% proof.
It's as credible as it gets in this
saying that sources now believe that coronavirus outbreak originated in a Wuhan lab as part of China's effort to compete with the United States.
So this is like obvious. We've talked about it on so many episodes. It's not accidental that the most contagious virus we've ever seen came from some random fucking bat at a wet market.
Yeah.
The virus is too perfect.
And by the way, look at this. In this article, it says U.S. embassy officials warned. What happened?
Edit that, Tim.
U.S. embassy officials warned in January 2018 about inadequate safety at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. They're already talking. I mean, like, there was symbols of this already being clearly shown to the U.S. government.
You have to think that the CIA had this on their radar, and they just didn't know what to do with it. They had no access, and they were probably trying to penetrate it with agents inside the viral lab. So Zero Hedge, which is a fringe financial blog, but they talk about all global news, a little off the edge here and there. In January of this year, so 4 months ago, they wrote about this, how they think it came from this lab, and here's what their thesis is, and they talked to a handful of folks. They got banned from Twitter for that post.
Wow.
And now it's like widely accepted.
It sounds like you guys believe it.
I believe it was created in a lab.
Do you believe that as well?
I don't. So I think when Matt Belinsky was on, we talked about it. It was clearly created in a lab. I don't think they intended to shut down the world and spread it. So I think it's
what was the
something.
intent? You think?
I think they were just experimenting
around. Yeah,
they're experimenting. So if there was a world war, here, let's shove this virus down everyone. And it's the
but
same
maybe
reason why to have nuclear weapons.
Yeah, and I think it was just accidentally leaked out of the stupid lab,
Right.
and caused this storm.
That I believe.
And it's interesting so Mike Pompeo, the Secretary of State, was on Fox News, and they asked him, and he goes, "We know that there is a Wuhan Institute of Virology a few miles away from the wet market, and we're looking at everything. They're playing it very safely the way this is not a Donald Trump way of talking about the situation. Donald Trump would be like, already accused them, already said this is clearly out of their playbook, but instead he's taking the high road because on the trade negotiations, he was attacking China so vigorously. So to change your tune now is interesting because I think they realize how we're just unfortunately tied at the hip to China. And the notion that we're going to distance ourselves from China is a joke.
Yeah, we're going to let this slide because if we're going to print another $8 to $10 trillion, China's the one buying it.
Yeah,
exactly. There's no one else.
And that's really the problem is that even though that we can all come to this conclusion, we could all speculate that this is what's happening. It's irrelevant at this point because we're too attached to China.
Yeah.
So here for the good news. Stock market went up again today.
That's good news for some people.
Every day in the last 3 weeks, the jobs number has come back, which is a Thursday. The stock market has gone up. We are officially at 22 million Americans have filed for unemployment. Unemployment means record numbers on the stock market.
So 4 weeks, 22 million people.
Yes.
Which is like, if you see any other charts, the graphs, this is like astronomically, like not even fitting on the same page.
13.5% of the labor force is unemployed.
Is that count furloughed or not furloughed?
Yes, it does count furloughed.
Gotcha.
Yeah, people who aren't earning a check.
Yeah, because furloughed means you're not getting paid.
Yeah.
You can go on unemployment. So 5.2 million people claimed this week. I mean, this is.
So are we? Do you think we're at steady state every week? It's 5 more million people.
I mean,
until what? 50. 22 is 4 weeks, right?
Yeah.
What's the total workforce?
160 million.
Yeah, 160 million.
Okay, so we're at an eighth of that right now.
I think we get to 50.
So
making it even 50.
Yeah.
A third of the workforce, just not making any money.
I mean, you walk around.
Yeah, I don't know who's making any money right now.
Podcasters.
We're rich.
But I think there will be, I'll tell you, I think April will have crazy numbers, but I do think that like the economy is shifting also. So we should start seeing people that have seen a surge in business start hiring. I just don't know if it can equate to 22 million people. It's going to be like a million people could maybe repurpose their job
at Amazon and Walmart. And
So the real fear right now is, so post 2008, after the financial depression, right? Companies learn to do more with less, which is what created this wealth divide. This is going to compound so much more because businesses have been shocked in the last 4 weeks, and everyone's realizing you can run your business much leaner. You don't need all these
employees. It's what I've been preaching for years.
Even if things, this happened, this is history. Last decade, companies were sitting on record amounts of cash on their balance sheet, but there was plenty of people still not participating in the economy, which is what gave us Donald Trump.
And wage inflation isn't there.
No.
Wages have not kept up with.
There's a chart, I think I put it in our group chat, Pete, but we can post it. If you look at the wealth creation from 08 to 19, top 1% was literally like a hockey stick.
Yeah.
And then the bottom 20% went down, so they actually lost, and the middle class stayed flat.
Yeah.
The rich get richer.
It's the same thing what's happening in the stock market, right? So we're seeing the stock market go up. You take S&P 500 and Dow, those are weighted indexes, okay? So what that means is the biggest companies swing the value the most. Amazon is on a tear. Apple has recovered most of its losses. Microsoft has recovered. These are the 3 largest companies on earth. So the index is really thrown off because Amazon, I think, hit another record high today.
Yeah.
Netflix hit a record. So these $1 trillion companies are weighing off. Like Amazon's worth the entire airline, entire cruise, entire media, entire everything combined.
And probably by a multiple of that.
Multiple of that, right? So it's like, it's throwing off, and then it's throwing off the stock market. It's throwing off perception. It's because the rest of the companies are worthless.
Yeah, I think people need to understand that the unemployment number is more reflective of what's going on in the country and not the stock market, because you get fooled if you turn on CNBC. I heard someone on CNBC yesterday calling for S&P 3600.
That's a record high.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And it's just like, when you talk about the divide being bad the last decade, the next decade is going to be even worse.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen?
This is where civil war starts.
Yeah.
Because the haves and have-nots, now it's like, oh, the virus came, we didn't get bailed out. Like, at what, I see people protesting because they want the country open. Why aren't you protesting for inequality? That's what you should be protesting for. If I lived in the middle of the country, I would be pissed because the coast have made all the fucking money the last 10 years and the rest of the country got left behind. And now with oil prices plummeting, there's no demand for oil for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Okay. Travel is going to be thrown off so much. Driving is plummeted. So oil accounts for so many goddamn jobs in this country. And the industries that's supported by it, those people need to protest inequality, not reopening the fucking country.
And this is where it gets me so angry. How are Democrats, they've been preaching this for the last year. This is your shot to get money to families. 3 cents of every dollar in multi-trillion dollars. And it just shows you how damn good the Republicans are. They're just better politicians. Sure, some of them might be evil. McConnell, not a good dude, but he's damn good at getting his agenda done.
Yeah.
Greasing corporations, pumping the stock market, making sure
his guys are good.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's all that matters in politics. It's
taking care of your people.
Yeah. And Democrats are supposed to be the party of the people, and we're not acting like it.
Yeah, they're good at tweeting nonsense, not actually affecting any legislation.
They're not even that good at tweeting nonsense.
Yeah, I agree, but they have their woke audience.
Yeah.
So the rich get richer and the rest of the country just keeps sending voice memos?
Yes. And there's going to be a lot more voice notes because the small business PPP has officially run out of money. So if you have not gotten approved for your money, it is officially gone.
Tight.
I know you think a different theory on it.
Yeah, so what I understand of this is that the money's gone to the banks and that's been shut off. So they're not giving any more money to the banks. There is a logjam within the banks to get your money. So you do need that approval number to actually get the money. So I'm still hopeful, like we've been approved.
So 2 of our businesses got approved. Unfortunately, our largest one, I got one email saying we've been shut.
Right.
Just like an hour ago. Like one of the applications we filed says, hey, the money ran out. Go kick rocks.
Tight.
But 2 of them
You're 2 for 3. That's great.
Yeah.
I'm 0 for 3.
two of the businesses that got approved have now been allocated a dollar amount. Now we just have to see the money in the bank.
Right. I have an weirdly optimistic view. More money's on the way.
Yes, I actually think, do not be discouraged by that headline. I think everyone's going to get the loan.
I think everyone's going to get the loan. It just might be too late for you.
Yeah, it just may be a month from now, 2 months from now, but I am confident that they're going to hand out money hand over fist.
Yep, they have to.
And so I'm not too concerned that...
And to prevent the civil war that you would think is inevitable if poor people just continue to get poorer, it's going to be Bernie/Yang just handing money to people. It's the only way. Yeah. Even when we're at steady state in 3 years, there's going to be so many people that are just completely destitute. They're going to be forced to, or otherwise you'll have people in the streets.
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of spending, because I think that's where we can really get a sense of where the health of the consumer is, retail sales overall fell 8.7%. Biggest decline since 1992. So here's the most interesting thing about it. Food and beverage stores posted a record 25% surge. Okay, 25. That was not enough to combat, because I thought this number was actually going to be better, because I saw people hoarding. We saw people buying at unprecedented levels. Yep. So I figured the food and beverage and the grocery and that part of the market would be so big that would make up for all the drops in sales. This is March, by the way. This is not April.
Yeah, April should be down 25-30%.
At least.
And so bars and restaurants say we're down 26.5% in March.
Yeah, because they got 2 weeks in, right?
Yes.
But that still seems low. Only down 26%.
Yeah, in theory, it should be down 50%.
Bars should be down
if you only had
100%.
2
Because
weeks.
takeouts. Takeout.
Yeah, but that's a fraction of the business.
It depends. Some people pivoted and were successfully able to. I'm hearing people do decent numbers.
But to be able to do
takeout.
75% of the revenue through takeout, it seems crazy.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not saying that it's happening for a lot of people. I'm
It's
saying
very few. Those are the unicorns.
because you have to understand. I bet you Domino's saw a surge in sales, so that screws that
Yeah.
average up.
Fair.
But yeah, I mean, banks are expecting a 40% decline this month in GDP. That's nuts.
But the stock market will go up, so we'll all be good.
Yes,
Yeah.
as long as the stock market keeps going up.
3 cents of every stimulus dollar to people.
I
The
mean-
97 cents went to the stock market.
That's crazy. I mean, 8.7% plunge is nuts. I'm very curious. So we're thinking for April, 25% plunge. We'll get that data in a month.
25 to 30.
That's insane.
Has to be.
Yeah, I agree. It's just saying it's insane.
Everything's closed.
Everything is closed, but there was one, I think it was a newsletter I was writing about movie theaters, and it said how they went from doing like 100 million a week or something to 5,000
Yeah.
a week. And I was like, what movie theaters still open?
Florida.
Florida and Texas probably.
Are they actually?
No, they were. So that was what you were talking about is March. And in March, I bet theaters in Florida were open.
Yeah.
One theater.
Yeah.
$5,000.
It was that last week of March. It went from 200 million to 5,000
Yep.
year over year.
Nuts. And this is where we normally insert an ad, which we can read off later. Are you ready now, Pete?
Well, I am ready now, but we can read it later.
Let's do it.
Let her rip, Pete.
Go, Pete.
See how good you are.
And we're back to the ad reads. The only thing
R.I.P.
keeping us
headphone
alive.
users.
Yeah.
Give your headphones in. You just got
I'm
screwed.
sorry.
Turn down the
I'm
volume
sorry.
on that one.
Okay, if you didn't turn down the volume, turn it down now. Because I'm going to go back to being loud. Guys, it's Buffy. They're going to actually run ads with us. We thought they were just going to come on the first time. We do a little shim shang. Turns out they're actually paying for the whole shadong. And I can't be more happy. Guys, for the first time in a long time. Like Dee said, back in India, real sweaty guy, right? Try being a big, kind of thicker white guy. Sweaty. I sweat all night long. Last night, put the little, what's it called? The little breeze comforter on. No sweat.
Really?
No sweat.
You
And
do
it was a
look a
hot
little
night.
more
Yeah.
refreshed today.
Yes, thank you. Is it in the eyes?
your
Is it
skin
in the
is
face?
glowing.
It's some say. I've only had one person tell me that so far today. Now two.
And it was me.
It was you. But I actually got a good night's sleep. I didn't sweat for the first time in a long time. And this shit actually fucking works. And I hate that.
Why do you hate that it works?
Because I haven't been able to find anything else in this world that has worked up to this point. And I'm like, now,
So
now
you
after all
wasted
this
like
time,
23 years of your life,
yes.
right? I
I've
got
been
it.
sweating for so long, and all I had to do was go buy one of these. Are you fucking kidding
Yeah,
me?
so people don't want to sweat at night. Where do they go?
They head over to buffy.co, guys. They're 100% plant-based design. It's breathable and keeps you at a comfortable temperature in a way that polyester and down-filled comforters cannot. And I'm living, breathing proof.
Buffy.co, not .com.
Oh, did I say com?
No, you said you did.
You did it right.
We just want to
Okay.
specify
Buffy.co.
Buffy.co. And then,
Use the code D.
Yeah.
DEE.
so
Well-
Use the code Anand, ANAN, D as in David.
as a
Not
token
D
white
as in
person
D.
filling in, use the code DRAMA so as white people could win.
Or if you just hate all three of them, go use the code group chat. I
That's great.
think it's it. You can turn your volume back to normal now.
Okay. Welcome back, everybody, from Pete's wild ad reads.
People say it's the most entertainment they get out of this podcast.
Okay, turn off your mic. One of the things that I found very interesting, Facebook will now let you know if you fall for a coronavirus hoax. All of a sudden, Facebook is interested in making sure your information is true.
I've said this for years. If they wanted to solve fake news, they have the technology to do it and the resources to do it. They
Yeah.
just don't want to. Now they feel a moral conscience
Yes.
because this affects everyone.
This affects their ad revenue, this stupid virus.
Yeah, that absolutely does. If businesses don't exist, there's no reason to advertise.
So now they're literally figuring out how to solve the problem that we've been looking to solve for the last 4 years. They have the solution.
And again,
Shocking.
no one's holding them accountable.
Yeah.
Like, this is the time. Go after Facebook for fake news on everything.
Yeah.
Fake news on vaccines. Fake news on
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton murdered 3 people. Like,
Yeah.
that actually was a story on Facebook.
Yeah. And now they have all of a sudden a moral compass and decide to make sure, because God forbid there's fake news on coronavirus and it delays openings and we end up not being able to return to normal behavior in the economy, which affects your fucking business.
Yeah. But driven by money, just like everyone else.
But doesn't this also lead to issue because there's so much gray fake news, and now it's just like 15 engineers in Palo Alto deciding what the real news of the world is?
You know what? Unfortunately, that's where we're at. 15 Palo Alto engineers need to decide what we get to actually see, because it's out of control what we're seeing.
Wait till November. The stories that are come out on Sleepy Joe. Sleepy Joe killed 15 people on Tuesday. Don't vote for him.
Sleepy Joe gave corona to 400 African Americans.
Sleepy Joe benefits from pharmaceutical companies. He created corona in his lab in Delaware.
Yeah. Joe Biden's son has the vaccine. He's going to profit the most off of it.
Joe Biden sends voice memos.
Yeah. I'm just telling you, it's all bullshit. And if Facebook is going to dip their toes into this, then do it for everything. Yep. I mean, there's so much bullshit. I see, like, unfortunately, most people are not well informed, right? They see a headline, they see a conversation, they comment
They hear it on
on
a podcast.
And they literally go post things without clicking the article. They share it, and they're just like saying complete. And there's like 40 comment arguments on Facebook.
Yeah. Well, I think that concept's been proven by our guy with the big black dick, which proves that nobody actually clicks and reads articles.
Yeah.
They just share them.
Yeah.
Headline share.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really frustrating. But let's get on to some positive news. Michael Che, which you guys might know from Saturday Night Live, he does the Weekend Report, decided to do something that I thought was very generous, that it's great to see celebrities doing stuff like this. His grandmother, who passed away, lived in a building in New York City and a public housing facility, and he paid for 160 units in the building and kind of shared on social media. This is a drop in the bucket, but I feel like I'm obligated to help people that are struggling. 160 families were benefited for 1 month because he decided to pay for it. So it's amazing. And I think we're going to see more and more people go do these types of things and businesses do it. I know that the billionaires are starting to open their checkbook up, but you know, I need to hear some B's.
The billionaires,
not some M's.
The
I need to hear some
billionaires,
B's.
they can't win, because if Bezos did that, someone will say, oh, he paid for 160 people's net worth. That's only 0.00001% of his net worth. That's like me giving $2.
I know. But I agree with that argument, is that like, and we've argued to death on this topic, is that when you are able to create this amount of wealth because of the environment around you, you did not do it by yourself. There's customers, there's where you grew up. All those things are the reason why you are so successful. You owe it to your community. It's just like, you know how like the Mormon church, you give 10% or whatever it is. It's like, we need to instill that in our communities. Like,
so I agree, people should be philanthropic if you can, and if you're a billionaire, you absolutely should.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like what Michael Che is great, and it solved a small scale problem for one set of group of people for 1 month.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it comes to the government.
Yeah.
That's it. Like the government needs to be handing out money.
Yeah.
If you want the whole banking institution not to collapse, because if people don't pay rent, then their mortgages don't get paid, then the banks collapse. Give the people money.
Yeah.
3 cents of every dollar. I keep saying that.
How about 4 cents?
How about 20?
Yeah.
20 cents?
But then what are the negative repercussions of the government just printing money? There's got to be a negative.
Eventually, and I think the podcast you shared with us, the Recode Decode with Chamath, he talked about this on the podcast, where one of the challenges he sees, they're like, how are we going to pay for all this?
Yeah.
It's unclear that we have to. That's what we're learning, because you can just print trillions of dollars and no one talks about how you have to pay for it. But one of the solutions he said is we have to tax corporations. Stop taxing the middle class. Stop taxing lower income people. There's $1 trillion of cash sitting on the 10 biggest companies or something like that in the world, right? It's sitting all over the world, by the way. It's not sitting in America, all that cash. You have to bring it back, or you pay some insane penalties. They're getting so many tax subsidies. Forget just the repatriating of their money back to America. They're already getting Tesla gets subsidies because they're building cars in America.
Yep.
Everyone's getting subsidies. We just have to force these companies' hand and say you have to pay the tax and you get to bring the money back. You may collect $1 trillion there pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's part of it. And the government just needs to be more effective in taking care of the citizens.
Yeah.
Because they've clearly taken care of the companies that are going to keep the stock market going and the financial plumbing that is associated with it. Take care of the people.
Yeah. Okay.
Power to the people.
I'm not going to mention a name because I want to put it on blast. I get alerts on like Shopify on some of our smaller brands because I'm just curious to see how they're doing. I got an alert. I look at it. Someone that we know, I won't mention their name, that isn't kind of in between jobs, whatever. And I text them. I'm like, would you blow your stimulus check on some new shoes? Like, why are you shopping? And he's like, well, this is pretty good. You get the 600, you get the this, and all adds up.
The New York Post also just came out with a story that says stimulus checks are being spent on dildos, tigers, guns, and stripper pools.
Well,
I'm not
It
surprised.
sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Netflix documentary.
Sounds like Tiger King.
Yeah. Has anyone got any money, by the way, for the stimulus check? You got it?
Well, I haven't, no, but a lot of my little brother has, a lot of other people.
Parker sent me a screenshot today. He got money in his account.
How the hell did he get it?
I don't know. He got. He
He
sent me a
must have lied
screenshot.
on his 2019 tax return. Or
Yeah,
18.
you guys are lying on
No,
your
we
taxes.
didn't make that much in 2018 and 19. This is the year we started.
No, you
doing
made
well.
money last year, liar.
Well,
like-
he hasn't filed 19.
Hey, government, if you're listening,
No, it's from 18. We haven't
from
filed
no one's
19.
filed,
right?
19
Okay.
is when we made all our money.
I haven't
Okay.
gotten mine yet. My little brother, we have the same bank. Fucker got his. I want to know where mine is.
I'm curious. I haven't heard. I've heard. I got a bunch of DMs last night. California people getting their money. Good for them. Well, guess who doesn't want you to shop at their store now that you got $1,200? Amazon. Amazon wants customers to buy less. It literally cannot keep up with demand. And one of the articles I saw, which was ridiculous, this is just like another clickbaity article, was, will we ever forgive Amazon? Because shipping isn't 2 days right now. And what people don't realize, it's not only Amazon, it's suppliers to Amazon don't have inventory.
Right.
There is obviously delays in the Amazon warehouse, but I think it's a pretty, like, to blame an Amazon, a Target, a Walmart on this time. Like, do you think anyone gives a shit?
People just want to blame whoever they can.
Yeah, I mean,
But do you think it affects customers? Oh, I didn't get Prime 2 days. I got 4 days.
No, because it's better than anything else getting 14 days.
yeah, you literally can't get anything, or you can line up at a grocery market and get Corona.
Yeah, and wait for 45 minutes.
There's a lot of times where I'll go search for stuff and I literally cannot find it anywhere else. Like, it's so much time to go find it somewhere else. You can just literally search on Amazon and I have like 10 options.
For what?
For like majority of just like random shit I'm looking for.
Like dildos and tigers.
Right, things like
guns.
that. But they're just available there and there's like 10 different options.
So you're finding stuff easily.
Yeah.
So
What are
you're-
you looking for?
I don't know.
That's interesting.
I don't wanna
Because
disclose
everything
anything.
I look for is not there.
Just basic essentials.
Yeah, basic essentials.
Yeah. He's not looking for essentials.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely not.
He's looking for weird knickknacks. And
Yeah.
Hey, look, we all pass time differently.
A selfie stick that's also a
Dildo.
dildo.
Extendable.
Extendable selfie
I got the
stick
16
dildo.
footer.
But it's interesting that, Amazon's openly said that, like, it's okay if you don't want to shop with us right now. Like, we're focused on essentials.
that's why their stock's at a record high.
Yeah, it is insane. You know who else, if they were a publicly traded company, would be at a record high? House Party. House Party reports 50 million signups in the past month. 50 million people signed up for House Party in a month.
And it's been the number one app on the App Store for, I think, like 10 days. Or
So-
I don't know what the exact number is, but it's insane.
And we talked about this. Full disclosure, we invested in House Party a few years ago. And obviously...
We actually invested in Meerkat. Which
Oh,
became
Meerkat.
House Party.
Remember, I was hot on Meerkat.
It was South by Southwest probably 4 years ago.
Longer, probably
5-6 years
Yeah,
ago.
who knows? And it eventually morphed into House Party, which was an incredible app. And they ended up getting acquired by Epic Games. And it was more of an acqui-hire, so we didn't get a chance to see like a real return on it. But they talk about timing. People don't realize how much of entrepreneurship is just timing. We all work so hard, and like, when I run my businesses and then I go meet some schmuck who sold his business for $1 billion, I'm like, I know I work harder and smarter than that person.
Yeah.
But it's timing. You have to be at the right place at the right time. This acqui-hire happened, what, 6 months ago?
No, last year.
A full year ago?
At least.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, think about it. If this virus had happened a year earlier, they'd be $1 billion company.
We'd be rich.
We would be rich.
Yes.
Quick backstory of what House Party is in case people don't know.
If you don't know what a house party is, it was 50 million people.
Yeah, 50 million people on it.
House parties, video chat, you get like split screen, 8 of your friends, and everyone talks. It's Zoom for consumers.
And I would say that the interesting thing was I got DM'd about this, that there are games going on. There's like couple games. There's all kinds of fun things. I think they've made it more fun.
A funner Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were acquired by Epic Games, which created Fortnite. So
Yeah.
there's going to be a gaming component. Which
I mean, they just hit the lottery with
Yeah.
this
and
acquisition.
Epic Games has the engineering to keep up with the demand and to keep innovating, which is going to be super important for the next wave of growth.
And a big win for Epic Games. Another big win is Robinhood. Robinhood is raising new funds at a valuation just a tad above their last round. They're raising $250 million, which isn't a lot of money for a business that's valued at $8 billion now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think given the situation and the reputation Robinhood has had in the last 30 days, the fact that they got an up round is amazing. I think they should keep raising if that's what's going on.
The usage has to be off the charts.
Yeah.
Off the charts.
Volatility is the best thing for them because everyone's
Yes.
thinking
Not only volatility, it's shutdown. Everyone's bored.
Yeah.
Do you know how many? I mean, Dave Portnoy, his entire persona has become a day trader.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people he's inspired to day trade?
Well, here's the problem
Davey Day
is,
Trader.
think about how many people gamble. How much of America gambles? A third?
Well, said differently, I think there's 450 billion annually spent gambling on sports.
Okay. Millions of people gamble.
Yep.
They can't gamble right now. You can't go, you can't place a bet on anything. You can't go to a sporting event. You can't go to a casino. Everyone gambling is doing stocks.
Yeah, and if
Is trading stocks.
And if you're employed still, and you think you're going to be employed, your cost structure has gone down.
Yeah.
You're not going out to eat. You're not going to bars. So you just have probably more
Get some
disposable
money.
income
Yeah.
that you can
Yeah.
just like.
And you're on TikTok all day watching these TikTok geniuses tell
Yeah.
you, look, I made $1,000 today and you could too.
Exactly.
Buy this stock on Robinhood.
And I think that's where there's this enormous appetite for stock trading. And I think like a guy like Dave Portnoy probably got 1 million new customers to
You should have had a
Robinhood.
promo code. He would have made
Yeah,
so much
seriously.
money.
Robinhood should
Does
sponsor.
he say what brokerage he uses?
I think he's mentioned it.
He just tweeted something out today. Hold on.
If
I'm
he
sure
doesn't-
he's getting big deal offers now.
He's got to.
But I think it's just it's addicting. I mean, we've been trading stocks for a long time. We're in and out. We're not like avid public
We do it more
markets
the
people.
sport of it.
Yeah, and so
You're not professional option traders like me.
no, not a professional option guy like you. But the last 3 weeks, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's very fun.
It's fun. It's chaos. We love it.
Yeah.
He keeps betting on like Shake Shack and Lululemon. It's the funniest shit ever.
Yeah, and Boeing.
And Boeing. He
Yeah.
said he's out of Boeing now.
He's out of Boeing.
He said fuck Boeing. It cost him so much money.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. It's interesting to see fundraising getting done in this environment. I mean, I follow Fortune and Axios have great fundraising newsletters. It's just you see like $50-100 million fundraising rounds still getting done, but it's like distance learning. It's
Robinhood.
Yes.
Stripe.
Yes.
So Stripe raised $600 million at a $36 billion valuation.
That's insane.
So they, I think, now have to be outside the China companies, the highest private company.
Yeah, I mean, it's bigger than Airbnb, right?
I mean, Airbnb is worth a fraction of their last round.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they're probably one of them. Besides ByteDance.
ByteDance was at $75 billion.
By chance might be $1 trillion soon.
Yeah.
At the
At
pace
least.
they're
We
going.
just can't believe any of their data.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the problem.
All right. Well, that's good. Good for Robinhood. All right. Now we're off to winners, losers, content. Winner, Taylor.
Winner is the people that have subscribed to the newsletter.
Oh, God.
Because
I
I've
knew
been
it was
putting
gonna
out
be a shitty
fire
winner like that.
Newsletters all week. If you don't subscribe, you're missing out on some great emails every single day. Go to group-chat.com, subscribe, enter your information. You'll get the best emails every single day.
Okay.
My winner, Stephon Marbury.
Oh yeah, actually, that's good.
So
Really good.
Stephon Marbury played in the NBA, for those who don't know, had a rocky career, ended up moving to China and becoming a superstar in the Chinese Basketball Association. On March 8th, he wrote a letter to Adam Silver, or wrote an email, saying the NBA needs to shut down. This virus is so bad.
Wow.
Stephon Marbury said that on March 8th. So he's
prophet.
an American in China.
Yeah.
So if Stephon Marbury knew March 8th how bad it was,
Yeah.
how did the American government, CIA, everyone else not realize how bad this is? And 3 days later, the NBA shut down, which we all give credit to. That's the first time the country took it seriously.
That's nuts. That's so nuts. I mean,
He's a
Especially if
hero.
you know what Stephon Marbury was like as an NBA player, it would
Yeah.
be a lot funnier for you.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you don't, then it's
He's
not.
a hero, in my opinion.
Okay, that's great. My winner is Walmart. The reason being is Walmart says it'll be running more than 20 coronavirus test sites in 10 states by the end of April. Walmart has chosen to actually help. This is interesting. Testing is a serious issue. Where are the most amount of people probably in America?
Yeah, we don't
Walking
get it
in and out
twisted.
of Walmart.
Yeah.
Walmart does like $450 billion in revenue.
Like double Amazon.
Yes.
So
Wow.
it is like the power, Walmart and Amazon are entering the healthcare space. They both want to tackle this space in different ways. Walmart launched how they're going to have like doctor's offices and optometry and all those things happening in a scalable way at Walmart's. I just think that like we have to rely on these big companies to execute opening this country back up. If Walmart has the most locations in this country, then there should be all the test sites. If we need help distributing to in-home test kits, Amazon can do that, and Walmart has the physical. Like we need to figure it. We need to use them.
Yep.
We're not going to figure it out on our own.
Great.
Yep.
Loser.
Loser. Sorry about this, but I have to go with you, D.
Why?
Yeah.
Because Drama's gone today.
Okay.
So I'm filling in for him. You took his seat.
Yes.
I took your seat and your mic.
Okay.
I might have Corona. Now your mic might have some Corona on it.
We can get a wipe down. That's what I have Pete for.
He just spilled a whole LaCroix all over himself. Pete's gonna need
I
to
tried to
give
make a joke and then I just fucking.
Pete's gonna need to give himself
There's
a
my
wipe down
joke.
after that.
There it is.
Okay, your winners and losers both suck. Honest.
Well, thanks.
D's gonna love
give me
my
a
loser.
5 minutes head up.
D's gonna
That's
love
all.
my loser once. I don't know if you saw this yesterday, but
Okay.
it's just right up your alley.
Okay.
The CEO of Carta.
No, I don't see this.
Okay, so Carta, for people who don't know, made it easy for primarily companies that raise capital to issue your securities. It's actually really good. So if you've invested in a company in the last couple of years, almost everyone uses Carta. You get your documents and they streamline it, and it's much simpler than the old way of doing things.
Yep.
Here's the problem.
Do tell.
He laid off 161 employees yesterday,
Okay.
16% of his workforce.
Okay.
What does someone in the VC tech world do when something bad happens?
They
go
write
to-
a Medium post.
Exactly. So he writes a Medium post yesterday. He opens it with, if you as a founder and CEO are having problems thinking through layoffs, please feel free to reach out to me. I think he's basically saying like, I figured it out. So he goes through this essay of how he laid off people. He's going to give some people pay. He's giving 3 months pay. He's going to cover their COBRA insurance, whatever. Layoffs are part of what's going on. I get it. Every company's doing it. He is bragging about the way he did it and how
Yeah.
dignified he is. And then VC Twitter
Applause
starts
him.
calling him a hero. This
Idiots.
guy mismanaged his business.
Yeah.
He's clearly bleeding capital.
Yeah.
Fires 161 people, 16% of his company, because he didn't manage his cash properly. We're 4 weeks in.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do in 4 more weeks?
Yeah.
And no joke, I got blowback from all my tech friends when I started criticizing him.
Yeah.
My own friends are telling me I'm wrong.
Send me that link. I got to start clowning this guy. This guy's a joke.
He's a complete joke.
This is.
He's not a joke for laying off people because CEOs are making tough decisions.
Yeah.
You're a joke because you're bragging about the way you did it. You did it better than everyone else.
Yes.
Guess what? You fucking still mismanage your business.
Yeah, you're a clown. You're the big loser. I like that.
Yeah. New D would get fired up for that one.
Yeah, I don't care for that. My loser of the week is forward-looking losers. Starting tomorrow, we partnered with DJ Vice, a friend of the podcast, to do a mile a day challenge. So if you're kind of on the lazy, fat pig side, 1 mile a day is pretty easy. You can walk it, you can run it. It's 30 days of running 1 mile. If you do it, Vice is going to help donate some money to a really good cause. I forgot, so I'm going to ask him.
$5 a person.
$5 a person to, I think for hunger, right?
Yes.
So we'll get the exact charity that he's doing.
No Kid Hungry.
No Kid Hungry. $5 a person. So if we get like 2,000 people, Vice is at 10
We're
grand.
robbing this motherfucker.
So
Vice needs the clubs to be open.
Yeah, he's like, we got to get a couple of these underground clubs going.
and so and then what we're doing is if you complete it, we're gonna send everyone that completes it a T-shirt. We'll tell you how to get the T-shirt once you've recorded it. Track your miles using either Apple, Nike Run Club app, Strava, whatever you like to do. It's 1 mile a day.
So literally a mile.
Mile a day, if you're a slow runner, could take, 12 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't even get that
15
sweaty.
if you're
15.
really slow.
Okay, if you're a slow runner, you have 15 minutes to do it. You can walk a mile in like 30 minutes.
You can walk.
Easily.
You can walk a
20.
mile in 20 minutes.
Okay, you can
Because
walk.
I walk from my place to here. I don't speed walk.
Yeah.
It's 1.1 miles. It takes me 20 minutes to walk here.
Okay, so 20 minutes. I mean, it's 1 mile a day. Normally, we'd travel the country and make a fun thing out of it. Vice and I are going to do like a Zoom meetup, and then he's going to throw a big party on Zoom and DJ. And he's one of the great DJs that are our friends. So I think it's an incredible moment. Everyone should participate. It's 1 mile a day. It's not about just running. It's about having the discipline to do something every single day.
Yeah, and hold yourself accountable.
Yeah.
Agreed.
If you can't run a mile a day, maybe you shouldn't get that stimulus check.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah, it probably unclog the healthcare system down the line if everyone was running
Yeah,
a
if
mile a
everyone's
day.
healthy.
It's true. Can I update my loser?
Yes, thank you.
The S&P 500 is up 3% after hours. So as we started this podcast, because Gilead Sciences drug was showing effectiveness in treating corona. So losers are people like me.
Yeah,
who are.
I got a really bad alert from Robinhood that I was down 10%.
I'm down 10%. Throughout this podcast, I'm down 10% on a lot of money. So I'm down a lot of money right now.
And I got a notification that Wynn is on fire in after hours.
Yes.
The Wynn is closed still,
I'm
guys.
going to start putting money on Win because it sounds like they're just going to go up. And
Win is W-I-N. Winner.
W-I-N.
Wynn is the most unexplainable thing, period.
Yeah. They're seeing positive signs. It's not being administered.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
They're
Insane.
just looking for any excuse to go up.
Yeah. Let's get on to content. What do you got, Taylor?
Content.
Don't say the newsletter. Otherwise, I'm
You're
skipping
never
it.
getting a mic again.
Yeah, you're done. If you don't put in effort, you had 1 hour to think of content.
No, content. The news. Just kidding. Barstool documentary. I think you guys might have talked about it before. It's so good. Like
And that's on YouTube.
no, it's on Barstool Gold. So it's like that's normally like their premium thing that you have to sign up and pay for. It's all free. If you just Google Barstool documentary, it walks through like the company and how it started from like day one. It is so good. Have you watched it, Pete?
Yeah, I watched them all.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
It's unreal. Like I don't think nobody has a reality, like a real sense of where they've come from.
and what
Like their
they're doing
early
now.
days were nuts.
It's crazy. They're in
It's
an
like chickens
office,
with their heads cut off.
like a tiny little office the size of this, and like a shitty
Yes.
tiny place.
Yes.
And there's just a bunch of kids having no idea what they're doing, and just messing around.
I'll check it out. How long is it?
There's like what 15 parts or something.
Yeah,
10
there's
parts, like
multiple
20,
episodes.
30
1
minutes
hour
each.
each?
no.
20
They're
minutes.
about 15, 20 minutes.
I just finished the one about the pirate porn thing. I had no idea about that.
Yeah, they just
That
tell these
was
stories of like these
so
different
funny.
characters throughout the years.
They had
and
an
he's like,
intern who like torrented like Dave saw that someone torrented pirate porn, and he was like, "What the fuck?" And he did a full investigation on camera. It was like a 3-week thing where he's trying to figure out
Yes.
who did it. And this is like little 19-year-old intern who like they thought was lying the whole time. They keep like pushing him and trying to get it out of him.
Oh my
and then
God.
finally, after like 2 weeks of getting harassed, he was like, "Fine, I watched the pirate porn." It was so funny.
and then there's one about the blackout party too.
All right.
It's all really good. It's all really, really good
I watch
content.
it.
Okay.
You have to watch it.
Okay.
It's great.
All right. Anand.
So 2 pieces of content.
Ooh.
Well, actually 6 pieces of content.
Whoa.
I'm keeping up with my 5 rom-coms, Tim. I need some
forgot about
positive
that.
reinforcement here. You gave
Okay.
me some last time. The 5 rom-coms, No Strings Attached, The Breakup, High Fidelity, Long Shot, and Crazy Stupid Love.
Wow, it's
I
gonna
like
be a good
Crazy
week.
Stupid Love.
You would
Yeah.
love Long Shot.
That's the one with
Seth Rogen.
I saw it on the plane.
Yeah.
I was like drunk, sleeping, but she's like running for president or something.
Yeah.
Or she's president.
She's running. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's great. Great show.
And then
great movie.
For sports fans that have been starved of content, the Michael Jordan documentary
that's
is
mine.
here. Oh, it is yours.
The Last Dance. I'm just dying to watch this thing.
He said that he's going to be perceived as an asshole.
I can't
so
wait. Like the
excited.
stories that are coming out that are leaking before. So it's 2 parts released for the next 5 Sundays. So 10.
Yeah.
Is it each one an hour?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's 10 hours.
Sure hope so.
The stories that are coming out, like how competitive and how insane of a winner Michael Jordan is. Like there was a story before he played the Atlanta Hawks. He walks into the Hawks locker room, taps Randy Whitman on the leg and says, "It's going to be a long night for you." And he scored 61 points that game.
Wow. I'm going to share, I've never shared this story publicly.
This is good.
Okay.
And so this is about a few years ago. I'm friends with Michael Jordan's sons. One of them, Marcus, was opening a retail store in Orlando. And, I've known him since he was, I think a high school student. He used to get 5'4", and we kept in touch when he was in college on social media, whatever. He comes to LA one time. He's like, I'm going to do this retail. I'm going to start a brand. This is what I'm thinking. So he would just run ideas and bounce ideas off me. I was like, cool. Anything I could do helpful, let me know. One day he texts me and goes, hey, are you free right now? I'm like, yeah, can you pick up your phone? I'm going to call in like 15 minutes. I'm like, yeah, cool. I pick it up and it's him. And he goes, hey, Dee, this is Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan calls my phone with his son on the phone. And he goes, hey, my son's working on this project. He says you have some retail experience. What are your thoughts on it? And one of the things we were talking about is like the size of the space and how big.
Did you start shaking? I would have been shaking.
I was very nervous. I've had to take the stand for court to do depositions, and I get nervous because you just never know what they're going to ask.
I've had to do that. Yeah, it's fun.
I was that nervous where like shaking. I'm like, this is it. This is my God.
Right.
Michael Jordan. This is a person that like I emulated all of childhood. We used to sit in our backyard recreating every little shot. And I'm just like, I'm answering questions he's asking, his son's asking, and then we're just kind of going back and forth for like, I don't know, 15 minutes. And then I'm like, yeah, anytime you need help, I'm happy to, help out, whatever. But it was like a 15-minute conversation just talking about the business. The store ended up opening. It's called Trophy Room. It's in Orlando. Check it out next time Orlando opens up. And it's just an insane story that, one, the diligence he still has. I mean, like if I'm Michael Jordan rich, I don't know if I'm giving a shit about anything.
Your own businesses, let alone your son's.
Yeah, I would definitely not care about my own business.
That's good parenting. He's teaching his son discipline.
Very much
This is
so.
how you open a business. These are the things you need to think about.
Yeah.
I'm Michael Jordan. I'm a billionaire, but I'm not just going to blindly give you money.
Yeah, and it's just an amazing story. I'm like, how he had a budget and he wasn't just letting him do whatever he wanted. Like he was held to a budget. He had to help. It was just like a very interesting experience. And we have a mutual friend, Jay, who listens to the podcast. And I remember calling him and telling him the story. He knows the family very well, but it's an insane feeling to have Michael Jordan call you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, even if you're not like a famous athlete and friends with him, if you're just a normal person and you're friends with him, you got to be intimidated. It's Michael Jordan.
Yeah. I've never met him or been around him in person, but I've been to like a birthday party or parties that he's been around at, but like I've never actually got a chance to meet him. I know I'd be intimidated.
Remember my story, my Michael Jordan story?
No.
So I was an intern at Citigroup.
Oh yeah.
It's 2004.
Yeah.
We were in Chicago for some meetings, and this is back when finance companies were just spending endless amounts of money. We have a limo taking us to the airport. We're staying at the Peninsula Hotel in Chicago.
As an intern?
I'm the junior guy, but the senior guys were still there.
Okay.
Yeah, the senior guys wanted a limo. So I'm the junior guy. I'm the bitch. So I have to get the limo ready and be outside, making sure everything's okay. I'm standing outside 10 minutes early before we have to leave. And Michael Jordan walks out of the hotel and he starts walking right by me. And I remember being so nervous and I wanted to say something. I couldn't even like get words out. And then I was just like, I screamed like, "Hey, Mike." And then he just put his phone on and walked away.
Yeah.
There's no way anyone was calling him.
Well, maybe he was
But I
intimidated.
respect it.
Maybe he was nervous by you.
Yeah, maybe.
So, long story short, Michael Jordan called me, asked for my advice, my opinion. I'm in my head, that was one of the great moments.
You went from Michael Jordan asking for your advice to Pete asking for your advice. So.
And people and idiots like you.
Yeah, so looks like you're going the wrong way.
It's actually only gone downhill since he called me.
Mike, I need you back, man.
Awesome, guys. Well, that's it. We'll see you guys
I
on
have
Monday.
one more piece.
What's your piece?
We keep
Pete's an
skipping over
idiot.
the Pete's an Idiot
Oh,
segment.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
even a segment. It was
All
one of the
right,
best segments
go, go,
around.
go.
It
All
was,
right, I got
it
a
was
big
probably the
news.
best segment of all time.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I got a good positive news here. I saw this on Twitter, looked into it. It's pretty cool. Tiny hospital in Texas might have the solution to N95 mask shortages.
Oh.
Yeah. So the Texas Center for Infection Disease has a mask called the North 7700, and it's more effective and reusable than
Great.
the N95.
It sounds like a hustle.
And the reason
Could
why
be.
the stock market's on fire and after hours is Gilead.
Yeah,
You
that's
already
what
said that,
yeah.
too, right? I would just keep getting bombarded with text messages.
Yeah.
Everyone's short and everyone's getting smoked.
Yeah,
Everyone's getting smoked. We're all losing so much money.
yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts.
It's crazy.
Well, that's the market's also looking for optimism, right? Like it's just looking for any sign of hope, and that it's irrational. Market's always irrational, so this is irrational behavior.
It's crazy.
Oh well,
You win some, you lose some.
It's crazy.
it looks like we're gonna have to continue working.
Actually, though, I need that stimulus check now.
You might qualify now. all the money you lost.
Potentially.
All right, guys. Now we're done. See you Monday.